Hi there. The good thing about Dreamweaver is that you can make websites without having to learn any HTML, the basic programming language for the web. However, the bad thing about Dreamweaver is that you can make websites without knowing anything about HTML. Let me make it clear that I think it's important for you to know some HTML in order to create good websites, and that it's important for you to know what goes on underneath the hood of your website, because there will always be a need for you to look there and see what the code is so that you can get a deeper understanding of what can be done on your site. This video is an attempt to help you to get you to look under that hood, to pique your curiosity to examine the code view in Dreamweaver and see what's happening there. It can actually be pretty interesting. So let's get started. What is a website anyway? What makes it work? How does it know what to do when you click on a page or a link? Fundamentally, website development is really pretty basic. At its most basic level, it's a group of pages linked together with a common interface and a common topic or purpose. They are actually pretty fascinating, which is why so many people around the world are spending so much of their time with their faces in front of a screen. The definition of a website is a collection of web pages connected by a common subject, offered on a single or multiple servers, accessed via the internet through a common domain name, with a site address often located by its URL, or Uniform Resource Locator. As you can see here, there's usually a single page known as the home page, which is where all of the users first go to gain information from the site. The ironic beauty of most websites, however, is that even though the web designer may have a predetermined method for the user to interact with his or her site, users often take their own paths to get what they want, which is another reason websites and their development is so fascinating. Behind all that magic, however, is the code that makes it run, now known as XHTML. So let's take a look at it. Let's look behind the scenes to see what's going on. You can see the source code for any web page from your browser by choosing the View Source selection in the menu. It's a useful way for you to learn HTML and to learn coding tricks by the masters. You can also see your code in Dreamweaver by clicking on the Code View or the Split View buttons when you're making your web pages. The best way to learn, I believe, is to use Split View, so you can see both your code and your page design simultaneously as you change it in your page design. HTML was the original language of the web. It was designed when developers had little idea what it would turn into in the future, so it was pretty easy to use. It was just designed to format or mark up the text that was being shared. However, as new innovations came along and at such a rapid pace, it was hard for HTML to keep up. Plus, it's not as structured as a true programming language, and just about anyone could learn it by viewing the source code on any page. So over time, the demands for more elaborate websites outgrew the ability of the original HTML to keep up. Now there is a new standard known as XHTML, the Extensible Hypertext Markup Language based on XML. And the industry is in the process of ridding itself of old code and moving to it. And this latest version of Dreamweaver, CS4, which is the basis for this class, is designed to be more compliant with this standard. In the old versions, users of Dreamweaver could easily code HTML into every page. No more, it's a lot more difficult now. This version is based much more on XHTML and cascading style sheets, and CSS, and Dreamweaver works to enforce the XHTML standards. That said, I still encourage you to pay attention to the code that Dreamweaver creates. Dreamweaver provides a good way to learn XHTML by using the split code view, as I've shown you in class. And even though you think you can rely totally on Dreamweaver to do everything for you, you will still need to know and understand the underlying code. Here's some sample code to help you understand how it works. It's basically pretty simple. Text is surrounded by the tags for what needs to be done. For example, let's say we want the first line of text to be in italics. So we use the emphasize tags M at the beginning and /M to modify the word italics. All code, by the way, needs to be surrounded by the angle brackets. Similarly, to designate what text is a paragraph, we use the P tag and the /P tag to enclose that text. To create a special heading tag, we use the H1 tag. By the way, there are actually 6 H tags that can be used for 6 different levels of headings, going from H1 for the largest to H6 for the smallest. And finally, to make a link, we use the href tag. Remember, there must be a matching pair of tags for every change you make. It's also important to know that tags can be embedded within other tags. In other words, if you want more than one effect on a block of text, then you do that by using the appropriate tags for the effect you want. For example, if you want text to be formatted as both bold and italic, then you would use the M tag and the strong tag to get the effect you want. Of course, Dreamweaver will do all of this for you. However, please note that multiple embedded tags must be nested one within the other. That is, you cannot cross the tags, such as putting M and strong at the beginning followed by /M and /strong at the end. You must use M and then strong and then /strong and /M at the end. Think of it as going into a large dark room and turning lights on one at a time as you go deeper into the room. When you go out, you will need to turn them off in reverse order. Does that make sense? As you move further into the term, you will probably want to learn more about HTML tagging. To help you do that, I've found 2 websites that can help you learn more. I have links to them on my De Anza faculty website. You can either go there and click on the links directly, or copy down the URLs soon to be displayed on the screen and then bookmarking them in your browser. The HTML dog site lists tags by categories. You might find this useful when you're building a site and want to do something but don't know the correct tag for what you want to do. And the Quackit.com site lists them in alphabetical order, so that if you see a command in the code that Dreamweaver has generated but don't know what it does or why it's there, you can look it up on Quackit.com to learn more. So that concludes this video on HTML tags and coding. I hope you've learned enough to pique your curiosity and interest in learning more. As I've said before, to master Dreamweaver, it's not critical that you learn the underlying code. However, if you truly want to know how to create good websites and understand what's going on, then you need to understand the underlying code, HTML. So with that, I'll see you in the next video.